Hello, this is a video on how to play the card game Omi. Omi is a popular card game played in Sri Lanka. In some regions it is known as Umbi. And so Omi is a straightforward partnership trick-taking game. So there are 4 players in fixed partnerships. Partners sitting opposite. North and south are one partnership, east and west are another partnership. The deal and play are counterclockwise. A standard 52 card deck is used, but only 32 of the cards are used for play. These cards rank from high to low, with ace being the highest and 7 being the lowest. That means you must remove the 2s through the 6s from each suit. The remaining 20 cards can be used to take score. However, the way they're used is they're used as chips or tokens, and so one team has the remaining red cards, the other team has the remaining black cards. So the red and black token cards are never mixed. So black cards can be transferred from north to east, and red cards can be transferred from south to west. Essentially, the remaining cards can be used to keep track of how many tokens have been transferred between the teams. Right? Each team is in possession of one token color. You want to have as many tokens as you can, and make sure you keep the colors consistent. Any player can deal first, and the turn to deal passes to the right after each hand. The dealer shuffles the 32 card deck. The dealer then deals a batch of 4 cards to each player. Right, so as you can see, 4 cards here. Then the player to the dealer's right looks at the 4 cards and must decide and announce which suit will be trumps. And so in this case, the dealer is west. I'm the player to the dealer's right, and so I must announce which suit will be trumps. I'll go with hearts here. Then the dealer then deals a second batch of 4 cards to each player, so that everyone has 8. And so there you saw 4 cards face up, 4 cards face down. That's essentially saying deal 4 cards first, decide the trump suit, and then deal the remaining 4 cards deal the remaining four cards as well. In that case, all the cards were dealt, but with 4 being face up, 4 being face down, you could do it either way. But everyone would have 8 cards before the start of play. So as you can see, everyone does indeed have 8 cards. The player to the dealer's right, who announced the trump suit, in this case the dealer was west, I'm the player to the dealer's right, I announced the trump suit. I lead any card to the first trick. The other players play in turn, counterclockwise around the table, and must follow suit if able to. Player who does not hold a card in the lead suit may play any card. These are your standard trick-taking rules. If you can, you must follow the lead suit. The winner of the trick is the player with the highest ranking trump card. If no trump card was played, the winner of the trick is the player with the highest ranking card in the lead suit. Do note that the player who wins the trick leads the next trick, just like any other trick-taking game. So the trick-taking rules are standard. What we'll do is we'll lead with the we'll go with the ace of clubs here. Hand was won by North there. North leads the next trick. In this case, it is going quite fast, so I do apologize. But remember, we have to, notice how the screen shook there? We have to follow the lead suit whenever possible. Right, so in this case, the lead suit was spades. What we'll do is we'll play our lowest spade. The hand was won by east. And so this is going quite fast here. But that's okay, right? We still know what's going on. And so in this case, clubs were the lead suit. And so what we're going to do is, without discussing too much, I'm simply just going to finish the game here. Alright, so it's quite easy. As you can see, it's quite easy. The player to the dealer's right chooses trump, 4 cards, and then 4 cards after, dealt for a total of 8, and then you play out all 8 tricks. Right? So, deal 4 cards, decide trump, deal another 4 cards, play out the tricks, and then you score. That's literally how simple Omi is. I have to play a card in the lead suit, which is clubs. we're not doing so well. So, let us talk about the scoring there. After the 8th trick, the tricks won by each team are counted. If the team that chose the trump suit have 5 or more tricks, they win 1 token from the opponent's supply. Right, in this case, you just take 1 card because the remaining low cards that were removed are used as the tokens or chips. If the team that did not choose the trump suit has 5 or more tricks, they win 2 token cards. And so notice how the enemy team has 2 tokens here. Why? They won 5. They won 5 or more tricks. They essentially beat us there, and so they are now they won 5 or more tricks there, and so they took 2 of our tokens there. If either team wins all 8 tricks, they win 3 tokens from the other team. This is known as a Kapothy. And if both teams take 4 tricks each, no token cards are transferred. Essentially, the next time for the next hand, you put an extra token on whatever you do. So, let's say both teams take 4 tricks, a singular token is added to the next round. So, then the standard rules apply, right? Instead of the team choosing the trump suit winning 1 token, if they win 5 or more, they'd win 2. If the team that did not choose trump wins 5 or more, they'd win 3 instead of 2. If either team won all 8, instead of winning 3 for a Kapothy, they'd win 4 tokens, right? So if both teams score 4 tricks each, the token is carried over to the next round. And it's given to whatever team scores there. Right? Do note that only one team will score in a round, and so that extra token will be given to the team that scores in that round. So, the winners are the first team to win 10 tokens or more. And so when a team runs out of token cards or does not have enough token cards to pay the winning team, they have lost the game. So, as you can see, right, it's not that hard. 4 cards, choose trump, deal out the remaining 4 cards, play the 8 tricks. The team who wins the most scores, depending on how many they win. If both teams tie in tricks, the trick is carried over, the token is carried over to the next hand. The winner of the game is the first team to win 10 or more tokens. Now, let us simply play again, and what we'll do is we'll sort of just, not only will we go through the game, we'll also go over some strategy. And so, give me one moment. And so we're back. So what we are going to do is we're going to play out one demo hand. And what we're also going to do is we're going to talk about some strategy here, because strategy is something that's not often highlighted. I often could just go over the rules, but I think it's important to talk about some strategy whenever I have a good grasp on the game. And so when choosing trumps, you want to select the suit in which you have the most cards. Why? Because that'll be more beneficial, right? If you choose a trump suit for which you have a lot of those cards, you'll be able to play a trump card in the majority of the tricks, greatly increasing your chances of meeting winning the majority of tricks, which is 5 or more. Do note that if you have two I guess if you have if you have 2 suits which you have an equal amount of cards for, it's better to make the suit with the lower ranking cards the trump, since the suit with the higher ranking cards would be more likely to win a trick regardless of whether or not it is a trump. So let's say you have 2 diamonds and 2 clubs, right? So yeah, in this case, I was not even looking at the screen there for a second, but we do indeed have 2 diamonds and 2 clubs. So what a coincidence, right? We want to pick the cards for which we have lower rankings, and I'll explain why. Right? So our lowest ranking cards are I guess I'd say that our 7 and our king, right? Because 9 and queen are not that low ranking, but the 7 is quite low ranking. And the reasoning for this, right, is as follows. We'll actually choose the 9 and the queen as trump, so we'll choose clubs as trump. The reasoning is as follows. The king of diamonds is already a high card, right? And so even if it's not trump, it's not the end of the world. It could still win a trick. However, the 9 of clubs is quite a low ranking card, right? Do note that we have removed the majority of the cards, and so the 9 of clubs is quite low ranking, right? It's the third lowest ranking card, and so it's unlikely that that will win a trick unless it is a trump card. And so your lower ranking cards, you generally want to make those trump if you have this equal number of cards for both, right? In this case, we have 2 of each suit because the higher ranking cards have the power to win even when they are not trump. So we'll select trump there, right? And do note that just like any other partner game, it's important to remember what cards have been played and cooperate with your partner. So don't beat your partner's card when your partner is likely going to win the trick, right? If you know you for sure your partner, or for a very high likelihood your partner will win the trick, play your lowest ranking card. It allows you to discard your lowest ranking card whilst still winning the trick. So we'll keep playing here just a bit. The hand was won by East because East had the ace of diamonds. I have to play a diamond there. In this case, the hand is won by West. So we are not that good at this game. Thank you, North, for winning there. We'll have to play our spade. In this case, East had the club. In this case, West started out. Now we'll play a club. So I took that. So we won 3, right? And they won 5. And so what happens there is we lost 2 tokens. That is because the team that did not choose the trump suit, in this case East and West, did not choose the trump suit. I was the one who chose the trump suit. I chose clubs. So the team that did not choose the trump suit won 5 or more tricks, so they won 2 of our token cards. Remember, your token cards are the cards you discarded at the beginning. So as you can see, the game is pretty easy, but let us talk about a bit more strategy. And so if your partner plays a winning card and you have no card of that suit, you may discard a card of the suit that you would like your partner to lead next, right? And so, furthermore, do note that if you hold the ace and a queen of a suit that is led by another player, it is often worth finessing. And so that means playing the queen rather than the ace, which can gain a trick when the opponent to your left has the king, right? And so you sort of want to bait them. If you know that if you're your partner, you play the queen, they play the king, and then your other partner plays the ace. Do note that you're not allowed to just simply yell out your cards to your partner or anything like that. You must use careful observation and knowledge in order to make the best judgment as to which card to play. So you cannot just yell at your partner your cards. This is supposed to be a quiet game. The point of these games is to see if you and your partner can accurately communicate without communicating, right? If you guys can work together without actually talking to each other, right? So that's just your knowledge of card games and your knowledge of trick-taking games. So do note that there is a element of surprise here. Why? Because you will always have 4 cards that you do not know when you are choosing the trump, right? And it is possible that all 4 of those cards would not be part of your trump suit, and that can happen. So there is an element of randomness here, but that can be reduced with strategic play. And so that wraps up how to play the card game Omi. I hope you enjoyed. It's not that difficult, and thank you for watching.